What's up, y'all? Welcome back. We in this thing, you know what I'm saying? Tom Swift, Decoding Tom Swift, live and action and content. Now, what's up, y'all? We back. Decoding Tom Swift. We're going over episode 8. I'm your co-host, Rhayne Coleman, Carefree Blurred, and I have with me today. He shouldn't even have to say nothing. You just already know. But let these folks know Mike with me tonight.
Yeah, M. Haynes. Wondering why you gave us the Quiet Storm voice at the beginning, but we here.
You know, that was like a Black Lightning glitch from like years ago. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, my bad, y'all. So we are in, bruh. This, all I have to say is we have something very special planned for you guys Monday. For those of you who
Mhm.
are listening and watching at the time of this recording, just know Monday comes around, you'll get a treat. Um, but today we're going over season 1, episode 8. Tom Swift and his 2 men and a baby. Now, in this episode, Rowan makes an urgent plea for help rescuing a missing scientist from the road back. During the mission, a surprising secret brings Tom and Rowan closer than ever. What's up? What's up? How are we feeling about episode 8?
Grateful. Just
Yes.
elated.
Good, 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 good. I bet. Um so what are your general thoughts then? Like overall, episode 8, how are you feeling about it? Was anything moved you right off the top of your head or
Oh, there was much movement. Many
ah,
Oh, no.
yo.
Um, so I'm of two minds. On the one side, loved it, perfect 10, 100 out of 10. I mean, 100 out of 10, like amazing, great, best thing ever. But if I take my hormones out of the equation,
Okay.
um, I enjoyed it. I think I definitely get like, not necessarily saying this episode was calm per se, but it definitely feels like calm before the storm type of deal.
Okay. Okay. I get that. Um I agree. I agree. A lot of development happened. Um I was of one mind when we first watched it. I was of one
Hmm.
mind yesterday between you and me, and
Hmm.
then rewatching it, I'm of another mind because I've had time to kind of sit with it, and so my thoughts about certain things have changed. But overall, this is another episode that makes me so angry that this is the season because this,
Right.
like you said, is a calmer, quieter episode, but there was still so much going on that pushed the
Hmm.
plot forward. But there was a lot of
Yeah.
development, like relationship wise, plot line wise. Like, God, I'm gonna miss this fucking show. But yeah, okay. So what I would like to get into is the very beginning. This is why I think this show is so freaking good. And it might take me a while to get to my point, but follow me. I started watching Riverdale when it first came out. 13 episodes. I had just started my podcast not too long before, and I was like, okay, I'll review this show. There's some black and Latinx and Asian people in it. So it fits the brand. I enjoyed that first season, then they went off the rails, and off the rails in the worst way. I don't have an issue with Riverdale doing weird and wacky stuff because that's what the Archie comics do. I just feel like they have not done it well. That
Hmm.
being said, with Tom Swift, where where I think you could easily fall into that space of just like putting out content. Oh, now we have 22 episodes. Let's just do anything and make anything fit. Tom Swift avoids that. And with this episode, the storytelling is so superior to that of Riverdale. This ain't to sit on Riverdale, it's just a fact. So Riverdale would have times in which you are watching episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in 5, 6, 7, and 8, everybody acts differently every single episode. It's something
Hmm.
weird. This show, this episode in particular, gave us a new storytelling style, I'll say, with the beginning, the opening. So they essentially went on a mission that we were not there for, but it was done well enough that it doesn't feel like, well, who the fuck wrote this? This is so different from the last episode. So
Right.
I say all that to give praise to the opening, like, what is it, 2 or 3 minutes with Zenzi cussing out Tom and Isaac, and like that was stellar to me. The music, the retelling, the kind of tomtage or the montage of things that happened. Like I love that, because now I'm like, I want to see that mission. We probably never will, but Isaac's not wearing black. They're covered in paint. There's like a what is this? Is it a candy, a clown ice cream mobile? Like it's something. There's a lot of shit going on. I want to know what happened. You know, so that's the first thing that struck me with this episode.
And shout out, I don't know how much we talked about like the music and stuff in this show, but definitely like shout out to the Ruin Frida song at the beginning, like take me back to late club days. Like it was an interesting sort of like way to open up. Like you, I'm kind of like I almost wanted to see that mission, but you know, it's I think it's a testament to the show that even the tomtage of sort of what happened is enough to make us feel like, oh well, yeah, I wish I had seen that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I'm trying to find the guy, because when we were live tweeting, I asked, and I said, who's responsible for the music? And Cameron Johnson, the executive producer and co-creator, he mentioned the guy's name, and I'm trying to find that tweet. Oh, and it's gonna kill me because it should be right here. I'll find it. I'll link him in the show notes, y'all. I'll link his Twitter as soon as I find it. But he did that. The selection has always been good, but like that song with that opening, I was like, oh, you gotta give us this. Days. I know this was a wild and queer ass time that they were having. Shoot.
Because I'm still just like, what did they do to the car?
Yes. That you only have a mirror, a side mirror. Oh my God, this show is so freaking good. So they end up back in the observatory, which I have thoughts on the observatory as a whole. And Zenzi and Tom, well, Tom is in all white. They're pretty much in underwear. That's what this is, long underwear. And they're recovering like Captain America. Like I don't know what the hell going on, but they're talking. At this point, it's still weirdness between Isaac and Tom. And again, to this show's credit, I feel like handled, save for some of the other love parts, but they handled this pansexual black love triangle square circle thing really well, in my opinion. Because the way the chips fell at the end of this episode, to me, made sense, at least for Tom. At least for Tom.
Okay.
So I already know. So yes, I'll give them that. Yeah, I'll give them that. Yeah. How are we feeling about the Rowan has overridden I'll say this: Barclay is getting used and abused. Every other episode, somebody's overriding him. They're trying to kill him. They draining his battery. They're hitting him with EMPs. Barclay deserved.
Barclay be the bodyguard at this point.
No, really. Like Lino ain't even getting all of this, and he's like the young vulnerable one. Like, God, shoot. Okay, so, but what are our thoughts on this opening with Rowan messing up Barclay and then showing up at the front door like, I'm here, come alone?
So like, one, poor Barclay, like get Barclay a bodyguard. But it's really interesting because I'm almost like, okay, why did you need to do that? Like, why take down Barclay like for an extended period of time? to me, and it may be my conspiracy theory brain, this feels
Okay.
like a drawn out excuse, a drawn out reason to get Tom closer to you because
Mm-hmm.
you did what you needed to do, like gave make the antidote, a better antidote, whatever what have you. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why did you it's like why we have this whole like, oh, now Barclay only responds to my name. Oh, okay then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, even to piggyback off that, I did not, and it's nothing against the character and it's nothing that he did, but I didn't initially think that Rowan would have had that type of capability. Like, and maybe the show just did a good job at like springing this on us, but he to me was not one who was genius level. I never thought he was stupid,
Mhm.
but I always saw him as like
Yeah.
he's the muscle, the tactical guy. So for him to have this like knowledge, it's like, is it because you're studying Tom and his family so diligently, or are you just that knowledgeable?
It's the magic. It's the magic.
Gotta be, gotta this. 'Cause this man, I'm convinced he's 132. I'm sorry.
Am.
I'm.
Yes.
There's no way, especially with a lot of this episode. So he pretty much tells Tom like, "Hey, I can help you bring Barclay online, but I need you to do me a favor. I need you to help my family member." Which I got her name wrong all night. I was calling her Adrena. It's Andwina. It sounds like a Bridgerton name, and so so he tricks Tom. Well, he puts Tom between the rock and a hard place, and Tom agrees. And what I love about this show truly is Tom, Rowan, Isaac, and Zenzi all being on screen together. I
Uh-huh.
realized this episode, I truly love those scenes. And I don't know if it's because I'm a sucker for a team, for like a team up anyways. But a lot of the media that I've consumed growing up, the only collection of four or more, like all black people, was like living single, was
Yeah.
like girlfriends. It wasn't in this genre. It was in the sitcom, comedy, TV show genre, but it was never in like get the team together, create the Avengers. And so I don't. Maybe
Mhm.
that's why this is really speaking to me. But I love the four of them on screen together.
And it's
That's,
it's something that the CW shows do a lot, where they have like their team and like each person is like good at a particular thing and they go out and do that
mhm,
thing. Sometimes
mhm.
they overdo it, but I think with them it's a good sort of balance with this
Mm.
Fantastic Four. Like everyone has their
Ah,
skill set,
yes. Oh
and
my
everybody like contributes to the overall story.
hmm Yeah, I like that. I truly do. I want more. And again, I as excited. Okay, I don't want to bring the show down, but I do find myself in these moments where I get really excited about it. I get a little sad because I'm like, what happens next? Are we, and I'm trying to just stay in the moment and enjoy it. Get to that episode 10, and like, hey,
And then,
but
mm-hmm.
that sadness does creep in because like
Yeah,
that
I
episode
feel it.
where
I
we
feel
was terrible. Like, it was so sad. So yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Whew. There's there's that. But I also like the Swift Jet. And it's the little
Yeah.
things, and I don't know if because I'm sure there has to be something like Tom Swift cannot actually be the absolute first to do all of this stuff, can it? Like there has to be some show out there. I can't think of it. If there are, if there is, listeners, viewers, let us know. But a show where there's like this wealthy black, there's not this wealthy black billionaire yet making these devices with the friends with the custom interior. Like I've grown to love this show so much. So there's that. Okay, so Rowan, I know that's a fave of yours, but how do we
Mhm.
feel about Rowan teaming up with Tom, Isaac, and Zenzi? Like them being a collect, like we like them, the four of them, but how do you feel about that? Because like, what happens now with the rollback and everything else? With you teaming up with them?
No, it's one of those things where it's like, a lot of these teams have a like token like evil teammate where it's like that one person where it's like you gotta watch them because you don't know what they may do off to the side. And that's kind of what he is.
Yeah.
He brings that dynamic to the show. And that's a fun dynamic, but at the same time, you're always like, okay, is this gonna be the episode where he betrays everybody? Is this gonna be the episode where he
Hmm.
betrays everybody? So,
Hmm.
putting my bias aside, it is always kind of like looking at him out the side of your eye.
See, and I have a theory on him, but it has changed throughout these last 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, and this may be a bit of a reach, but I wonder if like comic book readers who were reading like live every month when Rogue finally asked to join the X-Men, if this is like a fraction of what they felt. Like, no, she just stole killed Danvers' powers and just was with the brother of the evil mutant. So I wonder if like there's that, because I know the X-Men one for that shit, but like I like Rowan, but I'm like, oh, but I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean, but I will say, like, for like the underhanded stuff that he has done, like
Mm-hmm.
he has always gone back and like fixed it or like made it better, and
Mm-hmm.
he's always been there like to help. Like he saved Tom in episode 1,
Yep. Yep.
so there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of stuff working in his favor,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
seems like everything he has said up to this point has been like, the rollback is trash. I'm pretty much just stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
I think for me, I like going back to you like to that X-Men Rogue example that you had. Like I feel like I would be a bit more comfortable
Mm.
with this. Like I can like I'm not as on
Mm.
edge as I would have been watching this
Mm.
Rogue thing, but I'm still on edge.
Okay, I can see that. Because yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because when I think about it in the grand scheme of things, they've set up and positioned Rowan to be someone to distrust, but he's proven himself. But out of
Hmm.
all the actions taken, he has out of the villains, he has done the least damage, the least amount of damage. Because if we're looking at Nathan, okay, well, first if we're looking at Evil Rashida Jones, she is just terrible. And then
Hmm.
we're looking at Nathan, though Nathan hasn't done anything, he also killed that man in the trunk. And from that very first episode, an act or not, our first impression of him at the end of the episode was that he's evil and hates these Negroes. So no one has always been a pawn. And so I think that gives him a level of, I want to say, um, not that his hands are 100% clean, but to your point, there's not much that he's done that hasn't been extremely honest, even if you didn't like what he was saying, or that he's tried to fix. So,
Right.
mm, I don't know, man. They did that with Rowan.
I'm
Um,
telling you, I
there you
like
go.
him more than just because of how he.
Yeah, I bet.
I like him more than just because of how he looks.
No, I feel you there. I feel you there. Yeah, I like him because we don't know what the hell going on with him. He's constantly stressing me out. So, um, one black ass thing that I like happened in this episode was when they pulled up at that doctor's house and they said, "Oh, they already got here. They already got her." Somewhere I knew they did not get this woman. Her house was a fucking mess. Like
It
just
was a mess. Oh my god.
but the fact that that was played as like the writers, that was funny to me. Like, but as soon as she popped up, I knew she had a kid. Not because I have any of my own, but it just made so much sense that this brilliant doc. But I also watch Hoarders and stuff too, because I'm like, yeah, you put together on the outside when you leave the house, so of course your house is messed up. But that was funny. That
Her
was.
house was junky. Oof.
Mm-hmm. And I love Zenzi's response, which was like, let me clean up because I'm not gonna let any. What did she say? I'm not gonna let any woman on my vision board live like this. It's like,
Yes. She said something about yesterday's sandwich on the counter. And I'm like, ugh.
yeah,
Like, lady, you
homegirl.
in the woods. You got bugs.
I don't want to say that, but you're right. It's what did you think about her? Like her acting and the character. Yeah.
To be 100, like when we first saw her,
Oh,
I thought she was faking. I'm like, oh, she lying. She lying.
oh yeah.
Because it's how
Mhm.
she lying. Um,
What?
her house is the best.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to try to make your house look like that.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
But I like as the episode like really what kind of made me kind of like step back, honestly, truthfully, was her breaking up over having to like send her baby off. I was like, okay, you know
Mhm.
what? Maybe she's not. Maybe she's just like all over the place.
Okay. Yeah. We're in the same boat. I immediately thought, oh, and I'm gonna have to walk a lot of this back because of my new theory on Rowan. But I was like, no, her and Rowan are teamed up. They're trying to get them there on their own. She's evil. She's in all this because how's she the only one who ain't been killed? Nah, she
Listen,
lying. So I went through the motions. Like I was going through it. I was going through it. But I liked her. She reminds me of someone, and I don't know who. I feel like it might be a character on another show. It may be a woman, some light skinned, thick woman who I know in real life, but she reminds me of someone. And like you said, that part of the scene where she had to give up her baby, I was just like, oh, this
yeah,
this show really be sliding in some heavy stuff. Um, you just met these people, albeit you know who Tom Swift is, but like you don't know if he crazy, and you just know that like your baby has a better chance with these fools who came in your house and start cleaning up than whoever's trying to kill y'all. Like that.
but that's what it was. That's how she got to trust him because who just walk up in somebody's house like, this nasty, and just start cleaning it up. Them had to be good
No,
people.
no, yeah, because any villain would have been like, I'm gonna kill you. I don't need to clean your house up. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh my god, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I also love, which like, we can get into, but it's gonna have to be addressed. Rowan says he needs Tom's help to help his family member, and then when they show up at this woman's house, and Rowan says something to her, and she was like, "And who are you?" The look that Isaac gave when he turned around and said, "You don't know who this is, or you don't recognize him," I was. That is some of the best acting that I've seen because the frustration, like even Tom's response was not to me as good as Isaac's, but I have theories on Rowan, but
Mhm.
yeah, that that
Yeah,
that one.
because even I even I was like sitting on my couch watching. I was like, now why you lie? Now why you lie to people like that?
And that's the thing, Rowan. And see, I'm more accepting of his lies now because I feel like his track record is I'm lying to you because you don't need to know what's going on. Because
Mhm.
even when he told him the truth, because didn't he tell him the truth in episode one, like you're in danger, such and such, whatever. And like Tom still has been like on this mission. So it's like if I tell you the truth as cryptically as possible, you're still gonna do what you want to do. And if I lied to you, then maybe you still gonna do what you want to do. So I'm okay with him lying. I'm okay with it. Lie away. Um, so we go to the next scene where Tom is wearing a Dorothy Spornak original. And what I would like to know is what in the AKA is this sweater? It's nice. It is very
Mhm.
nice. But this heather gray and pale pink with the titties out, this man stayed with his shirt open.
And Roy asked him was like, why did you wear that shirt?
Yeah, they did. They got on him. I was like, you look like what did it say, spilled Kool-Aid or something? Like, what is happening in this show? Um, I liked it. I like seeing Tom with this baby, even though we know the baby. Okay, okay. So Tom with the baby in the baby carriage, and then Rowan showing when I my heart, my when
I was there like,
this
do I want kids? Do I want children?
hello, yes, I that this is a talent I think the show has is at getting education and getting certain aspects of like representation so right. They've talked about the black cowboys, about the black astronauts, about prep, about all these things in a way that did not feel preachy or very special episode.
Mm-hmm.
In this scene, I feel like, and I won't even say I'm reaching, but I feel like they did a expert job because if you look at how this scene played out, Tom is talking to baby Khalil. He's walking him in a stroller throughout the house. And if you just take this scene face value, this is a dad with a child. And then when we hit that corner, dad number two walks through the door. If you don't know what you're looking at, maybe he just got home from work. It's very much WandaVision.
Yeah.
It's very much Honey, I'm Home.
Come on. Come on. Yes.
You get this like nuclear family of these two men that just I know it was intentional. It had to be.
Mhm. And it's
I
just
love
beautiful. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm gonna say because Rowan just cradles the baby, sings the baby lullaby, so the baby goes to sleep. This is just like, yes.
they I
It,
so
it
it's
it was given real domestic. It was given real domestic.
yes, yes, in all the best ways. And it was just like you're able to give us this in this science fiction ass show without having to do again very special. What if they were parents episode? Like you don't have to do all.
Hmm.
You're giving us this in this scene. The looks that Tien and Albert gave each other, the way they cradled this fake baby, but like it was there. It was there, and oh my god, it. I'm
Okay.
Team Tom and Rowan. I'm Team Tom and Rowan.
Welcome.
I love
Welcome.
me some Isaac, but I just I'm Team
Welcome.
Tom and
Welcome.
Rowan.
Welcome.
They they did it. I didn't know who I wanted who to be with. I know I didn't give a damn who, just be whatever. But I like them. I like them. Um I don't know. I just Tom even said like I don't know where this what he said where this vulnerability is coming from, something to that effect. And he was like,
Hmm.
yeah, but I'll feel open with you. And I'm like, again, you giving us that coming of age, that black love story that doesn't have to be trauma. Look at this gay bashing. Look at this police brutality. Look like it's just a freaking show. Oh, and then the FBI shows up. So it's just
Of
like,
course, as they do, as they do.
I just bro, and even when they showed up, the scene of Tom and Rowan felt it felt like and I come back to WandaVision because I get this like very 60s domestic partner
Hmm.
imagery in my head where even when they're arguing about the FBI, Rowan is like, you don't have to let them in. Tom is like, and let me lay out all the reasons why. Hands on the wheel, officer, I have
Hmm.
no idea what like you can tell
Yeah.
this is a black ass show. This is a black show
Yes.
with
Yes.
queer black show. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just overwhelmed. So yeah, that this was just done well. And even with the like twist of the FBI, I think that was done well too. The one thing that I have a concern with, which I'm sure it's probably on your list as well, but the very beginning, the FBI shows up and they talk to Tom, Isaac, and Zenzi because Tom has sent Rowan away with the baby through some secret passageway in his house. And so they're interrogating them and they're like, okay, I know you've been at such and such house, Adrena or Andrea, whatever, they're at her house. And he says, like, oh, we're looking at property, some shit. And they separate them. And when they do, we get this scene with Tom, and I think they do a good job with showing Tom being smart, using his deductive reasoning and his intellect. But the scene I want to focus on is with Zenzi and Nathan when she's like, "Let me call my attorney," So I like the way that Zenzi handled that. I felt like that was a smart move.
Yes.
I I don't know how I feel about Zenzi and Nathan. Well, I know I'm not 100% happy. Go. Yep. What you got?
No, I was gonna say I know how I feel, but go ahead.
It's because I'm not Team Nathan. Even with these new revelations, I feel like nothing in his I'm being held hostage against my will type thing. None of that excuses that first rant at the end of episode 1. That felt very racially motivated. No, let me not say that. It just felt very evil, and I was like, I can't move past that. I can. You have to explicitly say evil Latin assassin was trained to kill Nathan if he didn't make this type of speech. Like you have to make that clear. Otherwise,
Yes.
I don't see it for him at all. Um I One thing I don't like has been the handling of Zenzi's love life.
Yeah.
I think that it's been kind of wonky, for lack of a better
Hmm.
term, because you have Marcus off screen, who I guess is in Atlanta or from Atlanta. Then you have Chris, which that seemed like it came out of nowhere. We have the congressman, but then we have all the stuff that he's dealing with, like pushing back against Tom and them. And then you kind of sort of have Isaac, and didn't she date someone else?
Yeah,
I
those
don't
are
know,
the
but
ones that we know.
I don't like the handling because even if Nathan is in game, I feel like I don't like this idea that everyone has an opinion on her love life and that it's that much of a topic or that quote unquote terrible or mismatched or whatever that like that I don't know. I just feel like Zenzi's the type of girl where how do I put this? Love life, you're gonna have drama, issues, disagreements, sure, but I feel like she's a certain caliber of person where
Hmm.
dealing with a lot of this seems weird.
Yeah.
So to ultimately get our Shonda Rhimes scandal moment that she stepped into with the bangs and the white man, I I can accept that, but it's hard to with the road that it took to get here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could have
Yeah.
just focused on them. I didn't have to hear about a Marcus. I didn't have to hear about a Chris. I didn't have to like. So I don't know. What you think?
Yeah. No. I agree with the vast majority of what you're saying. Um, I don't think I think I made that clear back when we first kind of learned about it that I was team Isaac and Zenzi. Like
Ha.
that is my end game. I don't care what they develop in the show. That is the pairing in my mind. They will have to just deal with it. So I was very unpleased with
Hmm.
how the with sort of like uh, Zenzi and the congressman getting together towards the end.
Hmm.
But I agree with you that I would be less unpleased if it wasn't such a bumpy road for us to get here.
Right.
Because
Right.
what it feels like we've established that, Zenzi has horrible taste in men, but hey, she picked this one and maybe this one isn't so bad. Even though he's probably, I mean, at least on paper, probably the worst out of all of them.
Yes.
Because as
Yes.
as messed up because as messed up as Chris Dusty Darby was, he ain't kill
Come
nobody in
on.
trunk.
Hello. Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a weird sort of like optical kind of thing that we're
Mhm.
seeing with this. And it's complicated because the speech that she gave towards the end to Isaac, I agree with the core of the speech. Like I agree, like yes, choose you, do what you got to do. I feel you. I feel you. Why is this your choice? Like I'm with you. Like yes, do what you want to do. Take your stabs, get whatever is owed to you. I'm with you. Why is this pale man? Who's owed to you? But whatever.
I'll take it a step further. Where is this coming from, Zenzi? Because
Mm,
what, not to be funny, what has Isaac done? Even Tom with all his trash talking that y'all go through. When was the moment where, because she said something like, if this was me a few months ago or whatever, I would have said all the right things to make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question is, when when was that switch made?
Yeah.
Because we've been following you and you've been great in the show, but I don't, and maybe it's the point where we were at the cotillion and you like blocked Tom on everything, and then the next episode, because you were in the car, he was blocked, and like Isaac was like, "I've been calling you," and she's like, "Oh, you got to be your own hype woman." Like maybe somewhere in there, but and well, she made the decision to start her own company, so maybe that's like where the
But
pivot.
that's not we're not there enough though. Like I get the whole like, oh, I'm gonna do me for me, and you know what? I'm tired of being pretty much your lackey. Like I get that. We didn't get there, especially because the very next episode, she
Mm-hmm.
got hit stabbed in his back with an EpiPen to save his life. Like so, when did you get to this point? When did you make this decision where you feel as if you know, like I've got to put me first because you know ain't nobody else doing it.
I gotta put me first.
I was trying not to do it.
Yo, yeah, that's and then even to take it a step further, where is all this coming from with Isaac? Like if this conversation
Also
would have
that.
been with Tom, I'm like, okay, because yeah, Tom has put you through hell trying to get Barton
Mm-hmm.
from space just to say, oh, he got 3 months of oxygen left. What? So where's this heat coming from Isaac? Coming from for Isaac? I mean, I guess I could see where it's like, oh, I didn't. You took too long to decide if it was me or Tom, but like, I don't know.
But, if it was that, why not say that? Because
But
I would have been okay with that. Be like,
mhm,
okay, I can get that. You know, I get
mhm,
that. You wasted time. You didn't get there. Say
mhm,
that.
mhm. Oh, I just don't like the way her love life was handled. I
Mm-mm,
don't. I don't. I'm
mm-mm.
okay. I'm okay with what they're giving us. I'm not. I don't. I still. I kind of think it's a trick, but I don't. Okay, I'm gonna just get to it. So my issue with Rowan that has kind of evolved because this ties into Zenzi and Nathan as well is that, well, I guess, well, the FBI comes into the house and then all shit break loose, all hell break loose. Tom, which I'm glad he said this because I had no idea, was separated talking to one FBI agent, and he said, "Well, where's your mom and brother? Maybe I can talk to them." Tom says, "Well, no, they're out of town." I was like, "Oh, that feels like you shouldn't say that to a police officer." But then
Right.
he says, "I'm gonna keep it real with you, or off the record, or something." And Tom says, "Off the record, tw- um, something about being in Quantico, and that's the best you could come up with." And he's like, the agent says you wouldn't last 2 weeks, let alone 25 weeks. And then Tom says it's 20 weeks. It's not 25. You're not an FBI agent. And that they cut directly to Isaac and Zenzi, which, okay. He cuts to them and he's like, he's not an agent. I just took him down. I kind of wanted to see what Tom did. They did not show him taking this man down, but I was okay with that
Mm-hmm.
because it was high energy after
Yeah,
that.
you gotta move.
We go
Mm-hmm.
through all of that. Tom brings a Beats by Dre pill, and he's talking to Isaac and Zenzi, and is like, pretty much, duck. I'm finna explode this,
Yeah.
whatever. Do that. EMP goes off. Zenzi stays on her Catwoman ish, and she knocks down one of the agents. She gets caught in the EMP, which is, I mean, I guess we needed it for the plot. And then the other guy runs off. Now, this is where I started. Initially, I was mad and I didn't trust Rowan, but now I do. So they get to the point where the evil Latin assassin man has the baby. He has baby Khalil, and he's like, "Yeah, I followed Rowan. I found Rowan where you hid him. He's a coward, such and such. I got this baby." So initially watching, I was like, "Oh, no, no, no. Why is Rowan not here?" They work together with the rollback. Him and Rowan set this up. But the show would not have shown a flashback of that man actually running into the study to go follow Rowan. Like they deliberately had Zenzi knocked out, had her run to the elevator. The other man, she kicked him and was like, "Keep your hands off of me." And then they showed the flashback of the evil Latin guy actually looking back and going for Rowan. That's how I know that he was telling the truth. And so, but initially I wasn't thinking critically. I was like, "Oh no, Rowan is evil. They working together." But once he did, I was like, "Okay, no, this is it." At the very end, there is a monitor. Like at the last 2 or 3 seconds of the episode, we pull back and there's a monitor that is watching Rowan and Tom. And that's what made me also distrust Rowan. Like, oh, he put that there. Him and the Latin guy faked this. But no, they wouldn't have showed that flashback. Also, this is my problem with the observatory. Anybody could walk in there. We don't know who.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, yeah, but that was my process to get to trusting Rowan again. So you can.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm gonna say because like there's no reason for Rowan to put a thing in there. He clearly knows how to handle Barclay. He clearly knows how to get in and out the observatory. Like he has no reason to spy on him. I definitely feel like that was planted there by the evil Latin bodyguard. It's like a last minute type thing because the ones that they have locked up, they're gonna get out. Like they got to get out. They got to tell Eva Rashida Jones what's going on, and they got to have some type of showdown. Like we know this has to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so I do trust Rowan. However, listen to this.
Oh Lord,
this because this show drives me crazy. So this is one thing that has me. I trust him 98%.
Okay.
Remember when Rowan and Nathan were talking on that plane and he said, "I have another way in." And we were like, "Oh, maybe he's trying to get with Tom, whatever." The way this episode played out, we found out early from Rowan that Rashida Jones was the head of the rollback. Rowan and Nathan worked together. So when Nathan came to her house and was like, Rashida Jones is the rollback leader, whatever, and she was like, "Oh, we already knew that." That's a way for him to give up the same exact information that they know to get her to trust him. Additionally, him coming to her house and confessing his love and whatever else happened at the same time that Rowan and Tom were going through that as well. So I'm thinking, like, is his plan get them both? Because we know there's this emotional something that they're easy enough targets with a little bit of work to like get that, because nothing that's been shared is more than what Tom and company knew already or were already informed of. So I'm like, oh, is this that plan that he's in? And we already know they ain't shy about pulling back episodes ago and pulling something forward. So I do trust Rowan 98%. And I want to believe that stabbing of the doctor is going to make me trust Nathan, even if I don't like him. But I don't know.
Well, see, okay. I'm following you.
Okay,
My question would be, like, to what end goal? So do you think that Nathan and Rowan are just ultimately just like straight up agents of the road back, and them getting close to Tom and Zenzi is just a way to take them out?
I would say yes, even if it is a little more finessing than just shooting them in the head, because we had the list of people who they have been taking out. And if working off that 2% theory that I have that they're working against Tom and Zenzi, what better way than to get someone to let their guard down to be with you sexually? Not even to say the end game is just sleeping with them. Just the fact that if I'm going to have sex with you and have a possible relationship, that is the ultimate double agent. Where I, me being Rowan or Nathan, can play both sides in a way that's much more believable and gives me much more access than me just being part of the rollback. So I think there's a possibility that it could go that way.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm gonna just wait for
What-
it. That's it.
I was gonna say like it's definitely a possibility. I'm just thinking, particularly on Rowan's end,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
this must be a long game then.
He's
Like
132. So
so wait a long game. But yeah, like cause I'm just thinking about just the things that he's done. Like he didn't have to save Isaac.
nope.
He, didn't have to save Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to fix Barclay either of the times. So it's like, yes, it's a possibility, but for me, I'm just like, you have been playing a long game, sir. And I don't know whether to be in awe or be like, you wasted a whole lot of time.
But he's been playing a long game since 2019. So when
Fair,
he went
fair.
after Barton, but see, even with oh my god, this show is gonna drive me freaking crazy. It's gonna break me because I'm very much one who likes, and I don't mind being wrong, but I truly like to look at the details. And this is finally a show that pays enough attention to the details that is giving me a run for my money. I we haven't introduced a mythical, magical element that we know of. Kind of, sort of with Lino, but I feel like they're playing it up with like tech and not
Yeah, I feel like he's an
necessarily
experiment.
right. But that being said, I just Rowan, if nothing else, this episode has made me say Rowan's name more times than I've ever said his name before. So if that was the end game, they did it.
I ain't
I
gonna,
just
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that for myself, but
no, I trust him 98%. And I'm willing to be wrong for that 2% that's in the back of my head. Because even with I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Listeners, viewers, let us know. Do you trust Rowan 98% or is it 100? Because I don't like Nathan. And Nathan and Rowan has been talking at the hip since they first.
it sounds to me like Nathan has caused the 2%.
No, truly, no, honestly. And that's it. That it really is Nathan and him showing up on his own, telling her but like if in episode 9 he doesn't tell Zenzi that he stabbed that doctor, I don't trust him.
Mm.
You have to
But
come clean.
they're gonna.
Mhm.
I was saying, but they're gonna play it like, oh, I didn't want to tell you because I was scared you may think less of me.
Well, girl, that's a risk you gotta be willing to take. Cause you can't talk about I want to come clean. If I tell you this name, that'll be you part of this white supremacist organization. So why is Zenzi Pope laying up with this man? Oh,
well,
it's Gerald Grant.
Olivia Pope was also never mind. Never mind.
Say that. All right. Lord. This show definitely is in the Shondaland universe. You can't tell
It
me it
is.
ain't.
It is.
Mm-mm.
I just need Tom to go on call Annalise to say,
If she pops up in episode 10,
bye bye.
you will hear me. You will hear me from my living room screaming. You will hear me. My
That
God.
would put me out. That would put me out.
It would. It would. I would hope. Would they have the budget for Viola? They got all these cars and fashions. Shoot. Um, even though we're not truly a fan of Zenzi and Fitzgerald Grant, tell me how do you feel about their chemistry though? Like with
No, it's not. No,
that's him. That's him. You can't tell me
he's
that ain't
Fitz
him.
now. He is now Fitz. He
That's
is
Fitz.
now Fitz. That is
Yep.
his name until the end of the show.
Yep.
um, um, it's not bad. It's not. I mean, it's okay. Okay, let me back up. They have good chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I ignore it because I do not like him, but they do have good chemistry.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Uh, I agree. I can agree because I think a lot of times when I watch shows, particularly shows like this, I think of like those people on YouTube or fans who are like super cut certain scenes to like show a love story. Like if you look at the LA Complex, Tariq and Homeboy, I
Cal,
forget it. Yeah, Cal.
Cal.
And that's the
Mhm.
first time I was introduced to them is through YouTube, like a super cut of those scenes where I thought the show was about them. But I watched the LA complex. I was like, oh, okay, it's on these people. So that in mind, I often think of if someone was to supercut these particular scenes, like their love scenes, would this make sense? And I think that it does. And I think
Yeah,
that their love affair is the most CW of all the scenes in this show. Her
agreed.
and because even if you take them in the earlier episodes at these different events, and then you take them in the episode with the ambulance when he gave her the secret code, and then you take that like in their date, like you put that together, it feels like its own show that's very much CW. Um
Yeah,
so in that, with that in mind, I think they do have chemistry and I like that. However, I don't like them.
that
I don't like them.
that.
He can choke. He's very stiff. He's very stiff. I think in the earlier episodes, maybe because it was all brand new, I would have liked him a bit better. But this man is 53. Like, how old is this man? Because is he not?
Again, fits.
No, yeah. No, you're right. It tracks. Um, that man is grown. He is an adult. Zenzi is a young adult. That man is an adult. He has been paying taxes for 36 years. All his FICA taxes paid up. Um, So I don't like him. The actor, you're doing a good job. Like, no, I want to go on record as saying that. Just like I don't like Claire, I think Brittany is doing a good job with Claire. I just don't like her, uh, and that's a testament to their acting and to the writing on the show. But Lord, 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 this love affair is so weird, and I just it's just weird. It's weird.
It is.
So what about Tom and Isaac and they're finally having this conversation? How did you feel, like Rowan aside, Rowan off the table, just purely their awkwardness and then the conversation that they finally were able to have? How do you feel about that?
I do think, like, I saw some people talking about it. I was like, and I do think it was like a mature decision. I do think that it took them both kind of just like getting to the point where they have to be like, okay, you know, let's handle this. This is some awkwardness between us. This is like
Mm,
very, it could be a mess up for like our business relationship. So let's handle this conversation. And I'm
mhm,
glad. I'm honestly very, very glad.
mhm.
Um, that they decided not to like to force them into like this whole like love triangle type
Yep.
deal, because
Mhm.
I do really think that um if I'm talking about chemistry, I think
Yeah.
that Isaac and Benji had a lot of it, and I would really love to see them work out. And clearly that can happen if him and Tom are kind of over each other.
Right, right.
So, so I appreciated that. I really kind of like, I appreciate it pretty much. Like, I'm glad that
Mhm.
they took it that type of route.
Yeah. I agree. For me, I'm excited or happy that that's the route they took, all things considered, that because this happens in real life. You do sometimes, just by nature of working closely with people or being in school all day with some people, you develop these
Mhm.
feelings, and they might not even be fully blown. I love you. We're going to be together forever and a day, and we are in game. But you can have this like, I like you, but I don't know what this could be, but could this mess up our friendship? Could it not? And you don't want to. I just feel like this is such a real situation that does happen that I'm glad that even though I wanted them together initially, one, it's a better case for Rowan. And then two, I feel like them together, Isaac already explained all the reasons why it shouldn't work, why, and then Tom independently had all the reasons why he was afraid to attempt it, and then it blew up in his face, and how their friendship was more important. Because you do get that a lot in shows where, oh, our friendship will it be the same, such about whatever. But with this, it was like there is an attraction there. We could have tried it. However, let's be friends, or I like you as a
Yeah,
friend, and then you still are able to go on without skipping a beat. So I appreciated that, even though, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that's a very mature sort of like angle to take with it because
Yep.
it could be easy like, oh, there's a traction there, let's go fuck,
Mhm.
and that could lead to all sorts of chaos. I mean, it would be enjoyable for us,
Oh yeah.
but it
Mm.
could lead to all of this extra stuff, and for them to make the decision, like, you know what, let's not do this, like,
Mhm.
because it's like what Isaac said, like that makes stuff complicated, and we just,
Mhm.
especially at the time that we had now, we just do not need that.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing that I love that this was said, what Isaac said, like, and it's not this verbatim, I can't remember exactly, but it was like, I wake up thinking about you, like like say protecting you is my life's work, essentially. And so it's
Hmm.
like there is this trope in romance books and movies and stuff where it's like the bodyguard and the person that they're protecting and this love of, and this could have been a great beautiful thing, but again, I do like that it's like this boundary where like in all intents and purposes, I'm the hired help, and my job is literally to make sure you stay alive. Like, you can't mix feelings into that, because then, like, there may be a misstep because I'm so, oh, my lover, versus let me make sure I tactically take care of this man. So, oh,
Yeah. And I mean, and the fact that they could have gone that way, that it's a very like well-worn trope. I mean, the
mhm,
bodyguard, it
yeah,
could have very easily gone that route, and it was like, actually, no. I
hmm,
appreciate that.
yeah, me too, because they've truly been playing with my expectations in this
Yeah,
show. For all the stuff that I've gotten right, there's been a lot of stuff where I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" So kudos to the team. Um, let's talk about Nathan being a messy queen. So when Isaac showed up at Zenzi's home and she opened the door, I like that he's never out of work mode. He's like, "I told you about answering the door without asking who it is first." Like he was her daddy. She's like, "Oh no, I thought you were my food order." This very like soap opera ass conversation. And then here come this messy queen. Oh, Zenzi, do you have a bottle opener? I think we should have this. First of all, ma'am, you know what you're doing.
you
What
do.
you're
Cause
doing.
why you walk through there with no clothes on? Cause
And
why
why
you ain't
you
have no
never
clothes on?
looked at her? You walk with he knew that wasn't the
I
food
know
at the
you.
door.
I know you heard the people talking at that though.
He did.
Mm-mm.
He's a messy queen,
Mm-mm.
and I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. Fitzgerald Grant, you messy queen.
And oh my God, because that's some shit that Fitz would do. Matter of fact, that's some
You
shit
already
that Fitz
know.
did do.
Come on, with his non getting elected on his own merit ass. I'm sick. I knew I didn't trust that man. So I
And
was
it's
just like,
because he did. Yep,
who does this? That's Fitzgerald for real. And
it
it don't help
is.
that Zenzi got this bang. So that's definitely Fitzgerald. How do you feel about Zenzi and Isaac's conversation, mainly the tail end of it when that messy queen started walking through the living room? Because also, where were you going? Because it looks like the kitchen. If I'm looking at this apartment right, it looks like you walk into the living room, but the kitchen, like, because the kitchen has to be behind that partition. Because where? How did you get the bottle? Where were you going with this bottle? If
Yeah,
you
see.
wanted a bottle opener, it would have been in the kitchen.
Mm-mm.
Like, so
He just
you
wanted to watch. He knew what he was doing.
I'm sick of him. But him showing up and like immediately changing the course of that conversation, how do you feel about that? Because she was definitely standing up for herself, but it kind of backfired.
Yeah, because now it seems like, oh, you're just saying this because you dumped me for Fitzgerald. Like, and then that of course makes Isaac be like, oh, you know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
leave now, which is tropey, but also understandable because you
Yeah.
just poured your heart out to somebody who out here smashing the sitting president. Like,
What is
he
wrong
is
with
he is Fitz now. He is now and forever
you? That
Fitz.
is him. That is him. But you're not wrong. I feel Isaac's pain, not just because that's my favorite character, but he has been like telling her from like episode, was it 2 with the Darbies?
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 2, like, you deserve better. Why are you dealing with this? And also, he been on her head independently about why you messing with the man that's trying to kill us. Like, what are you doing? You're not with him to be our double agent. You're with him because you are enjoying him. You're not that hard up for a man. You can't be.
You cannot be. I refuse to believe that.
Man.
I would rather you go back to the Darbies.
I mean, hello, because now they work for the Swifts. Well, Chris do at least, or invested. And also, can we talk about how Tom is just handing out jobs and stuff? Like, just Tom gave Chris a job. He created that resort for the black cowboys. He gave Adrena a job and changed her identity, her and her baby. I feel like he gave someone else a job.
Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn. Made sure Quinn was taken care of, even though I still think Quinn is evil. And kind of sort of Claire, because, well, no, I'll leave her out because she already worked, whatever. So, but he been passing out jobs.
I mean, I guess that's what you do when you're a billionaire. That's what you should be doing, at least.
Yeah, say that again. But they definitely don't. Let's talk about that. If we're saying that Tom Swift is a billionaire, I'm going to assume we mean independently, like he is a billionaire. Yes, his family may be billionaires, but he, in his own right, is up there. What I want to know is, what episode was that where we met Quinn? I think it was right before the
It was the Cotillion episode.
Yeah, what? Yeah. So my issue is you are on his head about the spa in Oklahoma or whatever, because the company is dealing with this, the company is dealing with that. You're a billionaire. Like, what does it matter? Like, yes, you want the company to make money, but if he opened a spa or a Nike store, why would that matter to you as a billionaire? Like, how much money could you actually have poured in? Like, I feel like $100,000. I don't know these numbers, y'all. Just pulling out the thin air. But I feel like $100,000 would be enough to start up a small spa in Oklahoma, when you already have the necessary resource, which is the sap from the tree. Like, you have that. So it's weird to walk this back and like to listen to them talk about, oh, you're so irresponsible. The company needs you to not start new company. I don't know. Like, am I alone in this?
So I'm gonna say the two things that come to my mind, and then we'll see where we are. Because the first thing that comes to mind is just general. That's how rich people stay rich. They don't be shilling out money to everybody. And then secondary, like, they have been saying that since Barton's ship blew up, like, people was kind of like, oh, we're gonna stop and give you money, which I feel like is understandable. Like, if we didn't gave you this money and you didn't blow up your freaking patriarch, like, maybe we shouldn't be giving y'all this much money. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they're still all billionaires, but it's possible that, they don't have as much money coming in probably as they would. So I get it, but it's also still like, y'all can afford it.
Yeah, and it's for a good cause, and also, like, they seem to be very dependent on other people, because we know Rashida Jones has been like bankrolling them, and then when we had the cotillion, there was, what was that guy who was talking all this cash shit about, we bought a house, talking to Lorraine, trying to like push up on her, and Tom came in and swooped in, and he was like, yeah, they're not as wealthy as they said it. So some kind of way it was like, you were expecting money at this cotillion. Like, is that, maybe that's just on my tax bracket, but it feels like a lot of their money is coming from other people giving them money.
But that's how it goes, though. Like, that's how, like, these companies and stuff, that's how it goes. You have these investors and all these people that you have to please to keep bankrolling, what you're going to do. Like, I'm sure we know that they have money just like on hand, but like so I'm dabbling into stuff that is far beyond my tax bracket, but it's like the difference between like liquid assets and like, like, just like you got all this money wrapped up in property. Yeah. Like, of course they got like money on hand, of course, but like a lot of their money probably comes from like investors, from like inventions and like patents and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So these people that seem to have like all this power over them, they kind of do, because if you start unraveling your money from the investors and from all these things, then
Yeah.
you will start to see your bank account go down.
Yeah. Ugh. That's something. And see that, and that may just be how it works, but that, and then factoring in the race element, it's like, damn, y'all still can't get away from serving these motherfuckers. Like, no matter how wealthy you are still at the beck and call of evil Rashida Jones. Like, it's just like, Lord, God damn.
That's why the Tubman Society tried to get Tom to build Black Planet.
I'm starting to side with them a little bit more. I was against the Tubmans for a while, but yeah, that's bruh. This is this is so annoying. This is so
But it's
freaking
real
annoying.
though. But it's
Yeah.
real, and I have to give it to the show for depicting that, like, because that's how it be. I mean, again, I'm not, that ain't nothing to do with me, but being sitting in, like meetings from like fraternity stuff to like school type stuff. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
know these people that donate this money to you. Them the people that really run the show.
Oh, you're right. My God, man, this show again. Another reason number 15, 6,032 million why this show is good and should be on the air. Because
Yes,
if you're giving us
agreed.
all of this, I can only imagine what a season 2 and season 3 would look like. Especially if we can keep the quality of writing and storytelling, if nothing else. Not even saying the writing is bad, but like the storytelling, these plot twists and this tying up loose ends and episodes 1 through 5 being a setup for 6 and like that. Chef's kiss. Um, Baby Khalil and Edrina. What do we think their relation to Rowan is, if any?
So my first thought when I was watching the episode was that was
Yeah.
Rowan's baby. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, please do not do the confused bisexual trope. Please don't go this route. I was nervous. They had me nervous. They had me
Yo.
nervous. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. So my I got a far out there theory
Come on.
and a probably much more likely theory.
Come on.
Which one you
I
want
feel like
first?
give me the more likely, and then let's hit the far out.
So the more likely theory is, since they seem to be from the same place, like it's just one of those, like maybe I knew her from afar, or like we from the same like neighborhood type deal,
Mm,
and she made it out, and I'm trying to make it out. So like I got this like community type relationship
mm,
with this person.
okay.
My far out there theory,
Yeah.
Rowan is that baby from the future.
Come on. That's exact. You better say that. Oh, yeah. He said to Tom, if you hadn't saved Khalil, then my whole life would have dot dot dot. I would have felt very guilty. No,
Uh-huh.
sir. That wasn't an accident. You wouldn't
No,
have been born. That's exactly
exactly.
what I was thinking. You better yes. Yes, because that line, I read that back twice. And I was like, okay, this could go so many ways. But the way he said that, I wouldn't have, and the fact that Rowan has been a liar or a shady, quote unquote, shady person, like the way they've set him up to be so untrustworthy, but then proving
Mhm.
himself and then that that would nothing when you write a TV show or a movie, I know at least this much, nothing fluff should be in it. Everything should
Exactly.
matter. And
Mhm.
the very fact that he said that, we on the same page.
Mhm. Mhm.
I said Rowan is 100 something years old, and that is him. Other reason why, because that woman, I know genetics, black people, we come in all different shapes and sizes. That woman is passing every paperback test. That baby is not.
Nah.
And I was like, I mean, but maybe she tailor made her sperm donor because she did say it was an in
Yeah.
vitro baby. But
Mhm.
no, there's so I was thinking that just like you, that's Rowan. But I was like, okay, but would that if this was this I start thinking about the shows. If this was Nancy Drew, would that make more sense because she does deal more with the supernatural element versus Tom, who's dealing with the science fiction of it all? But also, that's part of science fiction, like time
Exactly.
travel, traveling in space, multiverse. We just saw Lovecraft Country not too long ago, and they dealt with some similar things. So I was thinking that's him from the future, or Rowan is from the future, and he came back to the
Like, oh,
past.
that's like, it may not, the baby may not be him, but the baby is like an ancestor to him.
No, no, no. I literally think that baby is him. What I'm saying
Oh,
is I think Rowan is from the future.
oh, okay,
Because if
okay.
you look at it, if we're going to take the far out approach, he says, if you hadn't saved Khalil, my whole life, whatever. But he keeps saying, I grew up somewhere that was not so beautiful. But then also at the end of the episode, it was a kind gesture that Tom sent them to Kenya. But that's just guaranteeing that he gets born in Kenya and the world can. So
Yeah.
is he the bishop character where he's because to me, you're also folding in that 4400, that X-Men, Days of
Hmm.
Future Past type thing where we
Hmm.
do have a character from the future. And so is he that one who's seen the trouble that the rollback can cause? And now that's why you're working with them to get like
It
and he
would,
already
it
said like,
would
I had
track.
nothing to give you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it would track. It would make perfect sense to me. Like it would, because
Look.
a line like that is not accidental. Like
Hmm,
it's accidental, of course, from his point of view because he got comfortable. He got too comfortable.
mhm,
But no,
mhm.
you didn't have that character say that for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. And then even with changing names, we've known this baby as Khalil forever. Who's to say that that woman don't call that baby Rowan? Like, or maybe this is just a name he took on his own. But go ahead, go ahead.
And we know that that baby now has a new name
Huh? There we go.
because we know that Tom gave them a new identity.
Yep, yep. That's what I'm saying. So if
Matter of
so,
fact,
I
hold
would
on. Matter of
come on,
fact,
come
who's to
on,
say that Tom didn't intentionally get that baby the name Rowan because Rowan was helping raise that baby?
fam. I there's because yeah. I feel like this is it. This is the thing. This is it. We've cracked the case. So if episode 9 to 10 they talk about time travel, just know that we are absolutely right and need to be in the writers' room for season 2. Just just know that. Like that makes no sense. Like Afrofuturism for freaking real. So like, oh my god, I'm I'm floored. And if this ain't it, I'm gonna be so mad because this is such a good like. Would they be able to top this if this not it? Like, really, what can you tell me? Um, I don't know. I love this show, man.
All right.
Like, truly do. Um, I can't think of any other. Well, oh, I will say this: Lino and Lorraine are never at home. Additionally, if Claire does not pop up in episode 9, I'm going to be kind of mad. Okay, so on the one hand, I'm gonna be mad. On the other hand, I'm like, episode 6 proved to me that they know what the hell they're doing. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
be so mad that we even involved the Claire Lorraine mind control stuff if that's not addressed again. Because like,
True,
where have they
true.
been? You got me hating this
Oh,
woman.
man.
She breaking capsule pieces. She mind controlling folks. But again, on the surface, from where we're watching, nothing really seemed to come of it. But because
Mhm.
of episode 6, I'm holding off that
Mhm.
like maybe
Yeah.
Claire's in the role back. Maybe she been doing some stuff off screen. Maybe her and Lorraine, like maybe Lorraine is. I don't. It's you can't just have that laying there.
Yeah.
Like and Lino with his magical technopathy powers. Like this show is stressing me out.
You said Technopathic Lino is TC from Black Lightning.
No, yes, that's him. That is him. That is him. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that. So I feel like Black Lightning is also in this universe. Black Lightning 44, living single. What else? I don't
Angela, how do
but
you murder?
all of it. Yes, that's all in the same universe, in the same Blackiverse. Dang, is that all I had? Uh, Good Rowan. You got Beavers. Okay, yeah, that. Yeah, I think that's all I got. What you got? That's it.
Um, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so there are some comments. Oh, Harry. Harry's been in here. Come on, Harry. Let's see. Oh, that ain't it. I didn't mean to. Okay, let me start over. Wait. So, oh, okay. So Harry says, I'm just excited for this discussion and decoding. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Harry gives it an 8.5 out of 10. Great drama and reveals, but didn't have the same clear through lines as number 7. Okay. 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 I think I can. I think I could rock. Because I'm trying to think. Do I feel like the episode was clear? Yes, but I think I'm more wrapped up in thinking everybody lying that I didn't even really as a viewer, I would like to think. So I'm gonna give it to you, Harry. I'm gonna let you run with that because I don't know. I can't trust myself right now. I'd have to watch it a couple more times. So
I have to think about it. I have to think about
mm, he says I agree. I like the first season of Riverdale, but couldn't get into the second season. Yeah. Back to Riverdale. I think my biggest issue is not that they do wacky, kooky, crazy things. It's that it's not. That's not the show one that you sold us. You sold us on a gritty Archie R&B reboot. Two, I'm okay with all the weird, wild stuff, but you also aren't doing that well. There was no. It's like they were just throwing stuff at the wall, and whatever stuck, and whatever didn't stick, that stick too. So not a
it. It
fan.
reminds me, like hearing you talk about it. I've never seen an episode of Riverdale,
Hmm.
but hearing you talk about it reminds me of kind of like the thin line that Legends of Tomorrow had to walk.
Okay.
Like you can go into the wacky zany as much as you want to, but one, it has to be done well, and two, the show has to be more than that. Like
Yeah.
one of the things I loved about Legends was that as wacky and as zany as it got, like you could rock with it still because like the characters that was dealing with the wacky and the zany, like you felt them, their relationships were good, all this type of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just from the previews, I don't think Riverdale has that, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so either. I've been away for like 3 seasons, but I made it to 4 seasons, and I was like, nah, I can't do this. I tried. Yeah, I'm not the target audience, so nah. Um, yeah, f that. Harry also says the opening scene of episode 8 was masterful.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was. That was my God. That was really good. Really good. Let's see. He says, Barclay, I know it's a plot device, but if Tom is all that, he should have had better operational security. I agree, especially because he has the side hole protocols. So I get that Barclay was a bit of a MacGuffin for this episode. Like, oh, this thing happens, but I'm with you. This been your best friend since you were 8 years old that you created on your own. Fix it. Oh, shit.
Maybe that's the problem.
um,
Ready when he was 8.
yeah, like again, Barclay's life has been in danger more than anyone in this whole series. You need
Yes.
to reboot, update, alter, fix him. Make an AI. Bring LeVar Burton on the show. Make a synthezoid like Vision, but make it LeVar. I want to see LeVar walking around with everybody else. Deep Space Nine, nigga. So Barclay being hacked is like someone showing up in the Batcave or Star Labs. It happens too much, man. And
Way too
I
much.
hate that more than
Way too
Tom and
much.
Zenzi arguing. I hate that. Yeah, good lord. Um, now Harry says Rowan could be a script kiddie. Now, what I would like for you to update because I don't know
Yeah.
what part of the conversation. What does this mean? Um, Give us an update if you're still here. If Rowan is old, our guest scientist could be a granddaughter. Oh, I didn't consider that either. I'm still going with the theory we came up with, but I think that and that would also track because okay, I think both of ours could. I think that would track because well, no, I think ours would track more because if she doesn't recognize him, well, no, yeah, because she wouldn't know him. Like if what we're saying is true, she would know her baby as a baby. She would know her baby as a grown man. So yeah, no, who is this? And he's also, well, I don't know if this is offensive, but a test tube baby. So you wouldn't know what the father looked like. So I gotta go with us. Harry, you may be right, but I gotta go with us. But you might be right, especially if you're 109 years old. You might be right for sure. So he says Tom making adventures on the fly is truly Tom being Tom. Historical aspect of the character and other black inventor that comes to mind is L. Fox. Okay, Lucas Fox, Batman. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Come on, Harry, you better come on with the stuff. Um, that's something I like too is making those inventions on the spot. I do like that. Rowan and Nathan, here it continues. Rowan and Nathan could be double agents. Like, how did they find Rowan in the in the wine cellar until he revealed himself? And why wasn't he killed? Now I was with you. That's how I felt too. But seeing that flashback from the Latin assassin makes me think no. But I was with that was exactly my line of thinking. Where you at? And how he get you? Well, I don't know if he's bigger than him, but either way, you just as talented. So,
Yeah.
kill him.
Well, I'm gonna say, Rowan did say that the dude was like the best assassin they got.
Yeah, and he's proved that. Yes, that man has proved. If I see that actor, I'm running.
Otherwise,
I'm not saying
otherwise,
what.
other direction.
Okay, keep signing autographs. No, I saw what he did to Isaac. Get away. Shoot. Um, Harry says, I think the best answer for Ron is he's also working for Tubman Society. See that I I don't think that.
But
You could be right. Go ahead.
I was say, I mean, well, technically yes,
Yeah, now.
because yeah, yeah.
Mm. But yeah, before no, I don't see that. I don't see that. But then that's also if our theory is correct, then like maybe the Tubman Society was so secret that he only knew about the rollback, or maybe the rollback was whatever. I could do this all day. I'm a freaking nerd. Here he says, "Seeing Tom and Rowan with the baby was an Emmy-winning moment." You are absolutely freaking right. Like that scene, I want to play it on loop. Just play it on loop. Mm-mm-mm. Let's remember any lie to the FBI is a federal crime, so it's good that they were real with the FBI. Okay, that's something that I did not consider. Not, I'm sure I knew that, but come on, Harry, good job. He
Like
says, I still think.
regular police officers.
Hmm?
I said, I feel like it's even a crime to lie to regular police officers.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I don't. Yeah, it's. I
Yeah.
don't like none of
Yeah.
them. Well, me with this Apollo. So Harry says, I think Nathan could be an evil agent and quote unquote talking about the rollback with Zenzi could have just been a ruse to see if she knew about the rollback, which the rollback may have guessed when Tom showed up in Seattle. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. See, so you're making a case against Grant Fitzgerald, whatever. So I'm with you. I'm with you. Here he says, I think Zenzi and Nathan is one more of Zenzi's bad relationships. She may end up with Isaac. Oh, she would have to. She would have to end up with Isaac. Yeah, because like Nathan is boring. I'm so mad.
We're not here for Fitz 2.0. We not.
At all. She can go. She can go somewhere. Nathan killed to protect Zenzi, but he's still a killer. Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what's gonna make me mad if they do the but you're a killer. Well, if he lies about it too, like just tell the truth, like because they know what the rollback is capable of. So true enough, it might be scary to tell this woman that you love, quote unquote love, that yeah, I killed a man, but like explain, hey, you would be dead if I didn't kill this man. And so it's unfortunate you wanted to be let in. Well, this is all of what's going on here. So yeah, he is a killer. Here it says once Zenzi slept with Nathan, that's when it was too late for Isaac. Yeah, there's no going back now. Mm-mm-mm. So we need more than one season. Oh. Harry says Tom mentioned 25 weeks first, and when the agent repeated, okay, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, thank you,
Thought
Harry.
it was,
So Tom
yeah,
mentioned 25 weeks first, and then the agent also repeated 25 weeks, and Tom said, no, it's 20 weeks. You are an FBI agent. Yeah. And I
yeah.
watched Quantico, like the first two seasons. I watched that. I don't know how I didn't remember this, but Harry says there's no way they could have found Rowan in the wine cellar unless he revealed himself, but it makes for a good plot point. See, Harry, I think that these comments are before we. I think they're before in the past. I feel like I want to know if you are feeling Rowan like we are now, or if you still think Rowan is evil.
And
Harry
I will
says,
also, I was gonna say, I will also say, like, Rowan wouldn't necessarily have to reveal himself. He was holding the baby, like,
yeah, there's not too much fighting you're gonna be doing with a baby in your arms. 100% Rowan has some other agenda. If it's his own, Thomas society, or the roll back, anything else, he isn't being honest. And yeah, I think to our point, if it is the time travel thing, that would make you be because that's weird. Even dealing with someone who's a scientist, that's one thing that feels like it would be the hardest pill to swallow. Is that there's time travel, space travel, sure, but time travel that feels like you
yeah,
wouldn't believe me, so I can't say this thing to you. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Would Isaac be with Tom if he wasn't working for Tom? Mm, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because how would they be together? Not relationship wise, but literally in the same space consistently enough that Tom could get past his hot boy nature from the past to
Hmm.
even come around to Isaac or
Hmm.
see Isaac as more than just somebody to maybe sleep with once. So no, I don't
Hmm.
think they'd be together.
That
Um,
exactly.
yeah. Swift Enterprises seems to be a public company. The stock is down. They may have to fight off a takeover. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I see that would have been a better use for Lorraine for me, and
And I
not this.
actually, I feel like they said that.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Because I
I
don't
feel like,
remember.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be making it up, but I think I
Mhm.
remember hearing that.
Perhaps, but if there was some sort of, and it remains to be seen what happens with Claire in the coming episodes, and whatnot. But if Claire isn't addressed, if that situation isn't addressed, it's like, well, yeah, you could have spent their storyline with that, where they
Yeah,
take over, fighting off a takeover while Tom is gallivanting around the country fighting
right.
these pieces. So yeah. Um Evil RJ Rob is a major shareholder. Oh, she is, yeah. She's probably planning a hostile takeover. See, that's I would love to see that.
Ooh,
That would be
ooh.
so dope. Hmm.
I mean, we still got two more episodes.
I mean, yeah. So you think Rowan is a time traveler? Yep, yes. Here, okay, I think we caught up now. Yes, Harry, we think he's a time traveler. To profit his life, Rowan keeps on saying many times he could have died. Okay, yeah, because I mean, and then also this may just be an editing thing, or maybe it's part of the story. Remember, we were like, when Isaac jumped on Rowan in the past, where did he go? Like, he just did you travel through time then? Like, what happened? You just disappeared, and nobody asked where you were. You just left. So I think we onto something. Let's see. Rowan keeps on saying he needs to protect his life, that he could die. So, yep, that 100% tracks. Okay, here
Mhm.
we go. Script Kitty. Just using scripts rather than real knowledge, but it tracks that he is from the future. Why is he good at hacking? Okay, okay, because yeah, that would make sense. If I'm from the, if you send me back to the '80s, I can do something. I can make sure I'm set up to be wealthy. You know,
But
I can.
you wouldn't like, you would know like the 80s, but you wouldn't like know. Like you would only know like what you
Right.
know.
Right, exactly. What I've seen on TV, what I've maybe read in history books, seen in movies and documentaries. So yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I would no, but like, who's to say you get back to the '80s and everybody was just high off bubblegum? I don't know, just like something that hasn't been documented well. So yeah,
Yeah.
because even the history of it's always the history books are written by the victors. So even with the history, it's delayed because you're getting what has been written in a book by somebody who
Mhm.
wants you to experienced it this certain way. It hasn't been from the people. So who's to say that black folks can have some whole something different, their own type of society that hasn't been. Yeah, so I think we're right. Uh, Rowan's sent from the Tubman Society from the future. Now that would be interesting.
He on the Black Planet on a mission to protect Tom Swift.
Yes, because if Tom Swift does not do what he needs to do, we will not get this Black Planet in the future. We didn't make this. Better be
That's it. It's gotta be.
You hear us? We did that. Boy, Rowan, Harry continues. Rowan could have revealed himself in the wine cellar because he is from the future and he had to protect the timeline. Yeah, and that's another thing. Maybe that is it. Like, I have to. Oh, woo! I'm getting excited. Yes, that is it. My head canon. Rowan is from the future. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's it. That's it. That's it. Oh my God. Okay. Well, now that that's settled, because we're writers on the show, let's do our favorites and all that good stuff. Favorite character of this episode?
Do I have to?
I know. And so you're going with Rowan. I'm going to go with Baby Rowan. I'm going to go. I want to go with Tom because I feel like Tom has grown so much, but I think I'm actually going to go with Isaac, and that's not because he's my favorite character, but I think his relationship with Zenzi, him and Tom actually having that conversation, clearing the air. Even thinking on the flashbacks and like I can see a case for him and Zenzi being together, and that final scene really kind of hit me in the heart with that messy queen walking through the living room. So I got to give it to Isaac, but clearly Rowan stole the show.
Yeah,
it was. What about a favorite scene?
I'm tempted to just say the opening. I'm in between. I'm gonna go with the opening, and if you don't say the other one, then I'm gonna say the other one is an honorable mention.
Okay, so then, and I'm glad you said the opening because I wanted to say that, but I have to go with the Rowan and Tom baby scene.
Yep,
because that, and not even just there, like starting from Tom talking to the baby about his feelings for Isaac. And then Rowan coming in, like, because that I have not seen that anywhere.
Yeah.
And I made a point in that article I wrote, Why Everyone Should Be Watching Tom Swift, that every year Facebook reminds you what happened on this day. And for like 3 or 4 years, I've been asking people on my timeline, point to a black, visibly black, same gender loving gay couple that are together in comics, not indie, focusing on the big 2, big 3, because that's what the general public knows about. And every year the answer is the same. There is none. And I think in this scene, it very much proved one of my reasons why everyone should be watching Tom Swift. With that scene alone, I have to go with that scene. I have to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was going to say that was my other one. That was my other one.
Yes. Oh, we here because that, my God. And then what about a rating out of 10? Barclays, what do you rate this episode?
I think I have to do 8.
Come on. Same.
Okay.
I'm definitely, because though I think episode 6 was like game changing, 7 was really good as well, and this one is good, just as good. I think 6 kind of changed the landscape, and I'm thinking that every episode from 6 is like up there. Like, they're not that the other ones weren't good, but like we're in the shit now. Like, we're in the plot, we're in the story. There's no turning back. So
Yeah, I mean it's like one of those things. Like I said, I call six a mid-season finale. Most shows,
mhm.
once you come back from the mid-season finale, like you gotta go, like
Yeah.
you gotta hit the ground running, and that's definitely what we're doing now.
Hmm. Yeah. Oof, it is. My God. Mm-mm-mm. Oof.
Listen,
Harry says he's excited. Great podcast, guy.
thank
Thank you.
you,
Uh,
thank you.
Harry's favorite character for was Tom. Second was Zenzi, then Isaac. I could,
I
boy, I'm rolling
definitely,
that on your list.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I rock with Zenzi because she did like even though she got like caught up in the EMP sound machine, like
Mhm.
I did like her like taking the people down, and then one of them tried to get up, and
Oh
she was like,
yes.
"Put your
Lest
ass
we not
down."
forget. Lest we not forget. She and that's again this show. There wasn't a man doing all of the heavy lifting with because I don't think, if not being funny, Rowan got his butt beat
Mhm.
and Zenzi was whooping ass. I don't. There weren't many other fights in this episode, right? It was that. Yeah, it was just, and I mean, yeah, Zenzi had a bit of a leg up because of the sound wave machine thing, but she was still whooping butt, and like I just and that jumpsuit, maybe
Very.
I love me some Zenzi. My God, I want a friend like Zenzi. I'm auditioning for friends like Zenzi. Any young ladies with bangs who would like to be my Zenzi, please email at carefreeblacknerd@gmail.com. Put Zenzi audition at the top of the subject line. I don't know.
But
Um,
leave your Fitz 2.0s at home.
yo, please do. Yes, God. Oh, God. Stick with your Isaacs. Stick with the Isaacs that you used to. Don't go chasing politicians. Uh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. I didn't see this. Harry says favorite scene for me was the opening, then the baby carrying.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are just so.
this is great.
Yeah, so good. Oh my God, this show, y'all. Um, I don't know. Let these folks know where to find you and support you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can see my work at my website, mhaynes.org, or you can find me on social media at Lucis Deuce on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We can talk, we can chat, we can figure out what exactly year
Yeah. Oh
the
God.
is from.
Yes. My God. Yes.
So I
Do
can figure
that.
out how to get there.
Okay. Yes, those links will be in the show notes, and so will mine. Carefree Blurred on TikTok and on Twitter, Carefree Black Nerd everywhere else. And if you want to email the show, do so at carefreeblacknerd@gmail.com. But please put something Tom Swift adjacent in the subject line so we'll know what this is about. And again, oh well, I don't know why I haven't been saying it. Use the hashtag DTSPod. If you made it this far, like clearly I need to start saying this at the top of the show, but use that hashtag when you're watching Tom Swift and when you're discussing the show and when you're watching this show. But more importantly, if you've made it this far, again, here's your gentle reminder that if you're watching this live or listening to it after the fact and it hasn't become Monday the 25th yet, you're in for a treat on Monday the 25th. There's a treat for you, a Tom Swift treat. That being said, if you're in the future, say hi to Rowan. So until next time, y'all, stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky. And if you do happen to travel through time to go and save your baby self, make sure to be a little bit more kinder and don't lie so much to the folks that are getting you to your baby self, but also do what you need to do. So,
Yes.
yeah.